And all the congregation lifted up their voice and cried, and the people wept that night. And all the children of Israel murmured against Moses and against Aaron. And the whole congregation said unto them, Would God that we had died in the land of Egypt, or would God we had died in the wilderness? And wherefore hath the Lord brought us unto this land to fall by the sword, that our wives and our children should be prey? Were it not better for us to return into Egypt? And they said one to another, Let us make a captain, and let us return into Egypt. Then Moses and Aaron fell on their faces before all the assembly of the congregation of the children of Israel. And Joshua the son of Nun, and Caleb the son of Jephunneh, which were of them that searched the land, rent their clothes. And they spake unto all the company of the children of Israel, saying, The land which we passed through to search it is an exceeding good land. If the Lord delight in us, then he will bring us into this land, and give it us, a land which floweth with milk and honey. Only rebel not ye against the Lord, neither fear ye the people of the land, for they are bread for us. Their defense is departed from them, and the Lord is with us. Fear them not. But all the congregation bade stone them with stones. And the glory of the Lord appeared in the tabernacle of the congregation before all of the children of Israel. And the Lord said unto Moses, How long will this people provoke me? And how long will it be ere they believe me? For all the signs which I have showed among them, I will smite them with the pestilence, and disinherit them, and will make of thee a greater nation, and mightier than they. And Moses said unto the Lord, Then the Egyptians shall hear it, for thou broughtest up this people in thy might from among them. And they will tell it to the inhabitants of this land, for they have heard that thou, Lord, art among this people, that thou, Lord, art seen face to face, and that thy cloud standeth over them, and that thou goest before them by daytime in a pillar of a cloud, and in a pillar of fire by night. Now if thou shalt kill all this people as one man, then the nations which have heard the fame of thee will speak, saying, Because the Lord was not able to bring this people into the land which he sware unto them, therefore he has slain them in the wilderness. And now I beseech thee, let the power of my Lord it be great, according as thou hast spoken, saying, The Lord is long-suffering, and of great mercy, forgiving iniquity and transgressions, and by no means clearing the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation. Pardon, I beseech thee, the iniquity of this people, according to the greatness of thy mercy, and as thou hast forgiven this people from Egypt even until now. And the Lord said, I have pardoned according to thy word. But as truly as I live, all the earth shall be filled with the glory of the Lord, because all those men which have seen my glory and my miracles which I did in Egypt and in the wilderness, and have tempted me now these 10 times, and have not hearkened unto my voice, surely they shall not see the land which I swear unto their fathers, neither shall any of them that provoke me see it. But my servant Caleb, because he had another spirit with him, and hath followed me fully, him will I bring into the land whereinto he went, and his seed shall possess it. Now the Amalekites and the Canaanites dwell in that valley. Tomorrow turn you, and get you into the wilderness by the way of the Red Sea. And the Lord spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying, How long shall I bear with this evil congregation, which murmur against me? I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel, which they murmur against me. Say unto them, As truly as I live, saith the Lord, as ye have spoken in mine ears, so will I do to you. Your carcasses shall fall in this wilderness, and all that were numbered of you, according to your whole number, which have murmured against me. Doubtless ye shall not come into the land, concerning which I swear to make you dwell therein, save Caleb the son of Jephunneh, and Joshua the son of Nun. But your little ones, which ye said should be a prey, them will I bring in, and they shall know the land which ye have despised. But as for you, your carcasses, they shall fall in the wilderness. And your children shall wander in the wilderness 40 years, and bear your whoredoms, until your carcasses be wasted in the wilderness. After the number of the days in which ye search the land, even 40 days, each day for a year, shall ye bear your iniquities, even 40 years. And ye shall know my breach of promise. I, the Lord, have said, I will surely do it unto all this evil congregation. They are gathered together against me. In this wilderness they shall be consumed, and there they shall die. And the men which Moses sent to search the land, who returned and made all the congregation to murmur against him, by bringing up a slander upon the land, even those men that did bring up the evil report upon the land, died by the plague before the Lord. But Joshua the son of Nun, and Caleb the son of Jephunneh, which were the men that went to search the land, lived still. And Moses told these things unto all the children of Israel, and the people mourned greatly. And they rose up early in the morning, and gat them up to the top of the mountain, saying, Lo, we be here, and will go up into the place which the Lord hath promised, for we have sinned. And Moses said, Wherefore now do ye transgress the commandment of the Lord? But it shall not prosper. Go not up, for the Lord is not among you, that ye be not smitten before your enemies. For the Amalekites and the Canaanites are there before you, and ye shall fall by the sword, because ye are turned away from the Lord. Therefore the Lord will not be with you. But they presumed to go up into the hilltop. Nevertheless, the ark of the covenant of the Lord and Moses departed not out of the camp. Then the Amalekites came down, the Canaanites which dwelt in that hill, and smote them and discomfited them, even unto Hormah. Good morning. Thought I'd read you a little story there. I'm Cody, Robert, Judy. Today is November 16th, 2018. Yea, the Lord has heard your slander. He doesn't miss a thing. He's heard your ridicule, even in the day where you have been blessed. I've seen great blessings from the Lord, even since election, November 6th, 2018. We read in that story how the people decided that God wasn't talking to Moses and Aaron. They was going to pick them their own leaders. leaders that had not stood up for the Lord, leaders who had not stood up for the law. How can we compare this to this last election? The state of Utah, in which I ran for U.S. Senate, can you really say that Mitt Romney has a record of standing up for the U.S. Constitution, the basic foundation of it? Can you say that? Can you say that? Well, he was the GOP Republican nominee and didn't stand up against Barack Obama's qualifications for the office of the president, even the natural-born citizen qualification, born in the U.S. to U.S. citizen parents. There's no doubt. Fourth grader, elementary school children know this. But you voters voted for Mitt Romney. Against my record, which stood up against both Senator McCain and Senator Obama, and took that clear to the U.S. Supreme Court in 3 different cases: 1252-76, 1493-96, and 10th Circuit 1740-55. You can see a courtesy copy of that to Justice Gorsuch. So what do you think the Lord thinks about that? What do you think about the children of Israel deciding they're going to choose another captain? One who does not have a record standing up for the law that the Lord gave. No, you don't think it matters, huh? Yeah, it don't matter. We're doing good, Cody. Okay. But remember, in the day of your trouble, in the day the Lord sends the devourer, in that story we just read, we read that the Lord wiped out everybody from the age of 20 on up because of their wicked traditions. Just wiped out all the adults. And he saved the children. That's a heck of a record for children to have to witness. That their parents were so stupid and so dumb that they couldn't vote for the law of the Lord. And in our generation, what law has been established? Is it not the supreme law of the land, the U.S. Constitution, which so many veterans have suffered, fought, bled for, and so many have died for? But you don't think that matters on your record. Is it too hard to understand? You know, I didn't stand up for the law because I thought I was going to be popular with people, which is kind of sad, because it ought to be popular with people. Stand up for the law, defense for the law. And then when the day of trouble comes, can you turn to God, say your prayers, and really listen? But now, what record do you have? What choice have you made? What, what, what can I say? You had a choice. You had a chance. The Lord said in Matthew 5, starting in verse 45, that ye may be the children of your Father, which is in heaven. For he maketh his sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and sendeth rain on the just and on the unjust. For if ye love them which love you, what reward have ye? Do not even the publicans do the same? Politicians? Don't they do the same? They love them which love you, for you love them which love you. And if ye salute your brother only, what do ye more than others? Do not even the publicans do the same thing? Politicians? Salute each other? What happens when they're not saluting the law, and they're favoring one another, and there's an elite group that they favor with the law, and the rest of the people they just oppress, like the poor? You know, I thought, I wonder if I was rich, if that would gain respect. Is that why you respected Mitt Romney? Because he's rich, successful, and he hasn't spoken to you what the Lord has said? Is that your idea of a good politician? He's stroked your ego? No correction there? He said he will bring dignity and respect back to the office, back to the form of government. Is that what you think is righteous holiness to the law? Well, I won't swear, and I'll, with dignity and respect, piss on the Constitution. Does that make sense to you? Well, I'm going to do it with dignity and respect, though. I'm going to defy the law with dignity and respect. And you wonder why the Lord calls them vipers, adulterers, and whoremongers. Do you want the Lord to piss on you? Are you embarrassed of the Lord and the law, the supreme law of the land? You embarrassed about the law that the Lord has set up? Is that it? You're embarrassed about the Constitution? Where would you turn in the day of trouble? Who will you follow? Who is going to be your Savior? When the dollar collapses. And if ye salute your brother only, what do ye more than others? Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father, which is in heaven, is perfect. Is his law just too much to handle for you? We can't handle those celestial principles, Code. You want to stand up for those, you can go to prison. Is that your record? Is that your record as an adult? This life is passing you by. What is your record in front of the Lord, who sees everything and hears everything? You think he didn't hear the children of Israel murmuring in the camps and what they said about him? You think the Lord hasn't heard what you have said about me? Is that it? You think he hasn't heard? Ugh. I've had lots of revelations come true. Lots of them. This is why I fear for you. I'll tell you a couple dreams I had after the election, which were quite interesting if you look at them and ask a few questions. First one I saw Barack Obama, and he was after me. And there was a man with him, and he was after me too. And I was running from him. And that man, he was behind me, and right when he got up behind me, we were running together, and he was going to swing on me. And I ducked, and he just flew right over me. Why? Why would Barack Obama care about what I've done? Now he's out of the office of the White House. Why? Why would he care? Is there a division in the Democratic Party right now with Nancy Pelosi? Is there a few Democrats that are saying, wait a minute. Then I had a dream about Donald Trump almost the next night. And I saw a Christmas tree he had. And it had one branch. And he cut off all the others. I had a Christmas tree too, and I said I hadn't decorated yet. I haven't decorated it yet. And that Christmas tree was falling over. 2 days later, we saw, I think yesterday, the White House Christmas tree cut down. It's a fir tree, big one, that Trump had picked out. So why did I see Trump and one branch sticking up? Has he honored the other branches of the government? Is he honoring the media as a fourth branch? No, he's not. This is a fake news. Is Barack Obama honoring the Constitution now? Are the Democrats, the establishment and Democrats, are they honoring the Constitution? We heard Morning Joe this morning. He was preaching about the Constitution and the norms of the Constitution. And they were discussing how Donald Trump is eroding the Constitution, eroding the norms with his tweets about fake news and corrupting the law, degrading the law. Have they got a leg to stand on with what they've done? With Barack Obama not being a natural-born citizen, elevated to the highest office in the land, illegally? Why hasn't Trump, after 2 years in the office of the president, quite eligible as far as being a natural-born citizen and meeting all the qualifications, why hasn't he signed the proposed executive order which would protect the office of the president and which would have disannulled everything that Obama had done and which could only be challenged in the U.S. Supreme Court? Ultimately, does he not want the U.S. Supreme Court to come down on the side of exactly what Trey Gowdy said? The Constitution is not to be out-manipulated. Yeah, Trey Gowdy, one of the top lawyers, congressman, one of the top prosecutors, said our Constitution is to be upheld, not outmaneuvered. I think Trey Gowdy was in Congress in 2008 and 2012, and what happened? Mr. Trey Gowdy, did he object to Obama's not being a natural-born citizen? Born in the U.S., to U.S. citizen parents? No doubt about that. No one disagrees with that. Does he think the Constitution suddenly allows construction upon it without an amendment? Does he think one amendment of the Constitution can be substituted over another one? Ask him. Ask him. You think the 14th Amendment overruled the qualifications for the office of the president? Media won't ask him that. I had another dream that I made a picture about, and I was driving an 18-wheeler and I came to kind of what looked like the end of the freeway. There was just a big construction site going on. Freeway was all busted up and you couldn't go any farther. So I decided to back up, and there were 2 cement trucks within that construction area that were backing up too. They saw me and I was backing up. I stepped on the gas and they stepped on their gas too. But I had backed up first. And then they just hit me and overturned my 18-wheeler. Smashed it. Well, that was my campaign. Republicans have done everything they could to smash it. So have Democrats. Senator Ted Cruz is not eligible for the office of the president. He's a Republican. Senator Marco Rubio, again, not eligible to be in the office of the president. He's collected thousands, perhaps millions of dollars, along with Ted Cruz. John McCain was never a native-born son of America. He had 2 acts of Congress over his citizenship. One, when he was 11 months old, making him a citizen of the United States by an act of Congress. And then second, Senate Resolution 511, where he is declared a natural-born citizen by half of Congress, the Senate. Do you not think that this is the politicians patting each other on the back and doing this to you? They're flipping you off. And guess what? You're voting for them. You think that's okay? You don't think that you're going to suffer the penalty that your leaders are going to suffer? You follow them. You follow them, you're going to suffer the same penalty. They are your prophets. What kind of parent wants their children to grow up in the United States of America without the United States Constitution? What kind of parent? Evil parent? That Lord, we heard that in the Lord's chapter there. An evil congregation who are the children of Israel. Evil congregation, choosing evil rather than righteousness and holiness in the love of the Lord's law. I had another dream. I was marking out 70 steps, one right after the other. Next day, I read this Proverbs. In Proverbs, a man's heart deviseth his ways, but the Lord directeth his steps. It's in Proverbs chapter 16, verse 9. By mercy and truth, iniquity is purged. By mercy and truth. You don't think the Lord is merciful to his children who have not matured, who are not stuck in the traditions? We just read the Lord wiped out everybody that was 20 and over because they perverted their traditions. The children, he saved. All the adults, all the parents, he wiped out. They chose evil. You don't think that applies to you. Why don't you think that applies to you? The Lord's the same yesterday, today, and forever. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Better it is to be of a humble spirit with the lowly. Who's the lowly in our society today? Homeless people? Poor people? Unelected people? Losers? Better it is to be of a humble spirit with the lowly than to divide the spoil with the proud. Winners. We won. Well, how'd you win? Did you win by circumventing the United States Constitution? Is that how you won? Did you win by saying, I'm the rich? I'm rich. Look at all the money I got? Is that how you won? It's in Proverbs 16 too, if you want to look it up. So I said to Trump, I haven't decorated my Christmas tree yet. Or it's a week before Thanksgiving. When do people usually put up their Christmas tree? Sometimes right after Thanksgiving. Some do it right at Thanksgiving. We saw the White House cut down the Christmas tree just yesterday. It's being towed to the White House. Well, you think I would run for the offices that I had run for? 2000, 2002, Congress, 2000 write-in Senate, 2002 Representative, House of Representatives, 1st District. Speaking of which, Congressman Hanson just passed away, who had occupied that office I ran for in 2002. He was a Farmington, Utah resident. Had a lot of politicians go to him and ask him for advice, and I liked him. Then in 2004, U.S. Senate. 2008, U.S. President. 2010, U.S. Senate, the one that Mike Lee's got right now in Utah. 2012, as a Democrat for U.S. President. 2016, for U.S. President. 2018, U.S. Senate. I think that's 8. I didn't want to run in 2018. The Lord told me I needed to. And I thought, why? Well, let's look